So yeah, this video for me is like a step back in time. It's one of the first things I ever did as a kind of community thing. It was when I was part of the bean sprayers group, and yeah, we all did it, and we all like wove them together, and it was really quite interesting. I've not done this video for years, and I think it's a really good one, especially, you know, it's October and we know what month October is and stuff, and it's a good one. I will make it a tag, obviously tagging all the old guys from back in the day, but also all new people. And well, see from the title of me waffling on, it's 7 deadly sins, which are ridiculous things that were considered sins in the old day. Anything that involves some sort of pleasure, isn't it, basically? I suppose so. And that's all the video is, just matching the sense to them sins. So yeah, we may as well get into it. So first up on the list is pride. I mean, it doesn't need much explanation. We all know what pride is. Pride comes before a fall, etc. I think probably the origins of this one are we shouldn't have pride as humans, because all that we have, all that we achieve is a gift from the magical sky gnome and all that jazz. But I suppose pride could be related to arrogance and conceitedness and thinking you're better than everyone else. I don't think pride's a particularly sinful thing. Maybe we should be proud of some of our own achievements. If you look in society, we don't live in metrocracies anymore. We live in basically kleptocracies and stuff, and wealth and power is handed down. So if you actually manage to achieve something in modern society, I'd say you should be damn well proud for it. So what have I picked for pride? I picked Amouage Silver Oud, and this is a fragrance, yes, I am proud to own now. It's one of them that was that I sniffed, and it was just wow. It's easily one of Amouage's greatest creations. It came out of the Opus line, and then it was brought through. It's basically a nice growl of castoreum in that opening there, and some magnificent woods, and a kind of smoky, ashy bonfire. But this is more based around the smoke, and the smoke, you do get that kind of image of a silver smoke swirling, probably from the birch and that. I think there's a bit of iris, which also gives it this kind of silvery feel, and there's the Sam Oud, which gives it this pure woody, elegant class. I mean, it is very expensive. Whether it's worth the money is of course subjective, but it's one of them few fragrances that you smell and you go, yeah, this smells like it's fantastic. It's beautifully blended, the ingredients are good, there's nothing awful about it, you know, it's really good. And I sampled it and I was like, oh, I will find one of these at the right price that's not gonna involve the sale of any internal organs, and that's what gives me pride about this. It's just a fantastic fragrance. And then in my collection, it's one of them, I mean, I have no shame about anything I own, but it's one of them that, yeah, I'm proud I own this. So that's pride, and that's Amouage's Silver Oud. Next is greed. Again, doesn't need much explanation, does it? Don't want more than you have. As long as you've got enough, you don't need to keep wanting more and more and more. Perhaps this one, whatever a sin is, perhaps this one does have negative connotations, because again, we can only use so much, you know, we can only have so much. So why do we keep wanting more and more and more? That's obviously something that's evolutionary in us, maybe the need to stockpile, isn't it, I suppose, just in case, so we never go without. But it's gone way past that. It's like a broken kind of thing, isn't it? And greed is modern society. I mean, I was reading an article, I'm waffling again, but I was reading an article about the first trillionaires coming. That, to me, that is an absolute failure of modern society. That is a collapse of society. That's ridiculous. The fact billionaires exist is utterly vile. I mean, these people are so-called Christians as well, and all religious, which kind of, there's a lot of irony there, isn't there? How much money exactly do you need? Why aren't you paying vast amounts of tax and giving money back? How have you got so greedy, wealthy? Through exploitation, clearly, isn't it? So it's one of them. But yeah, the fragrance I've picked for that is actually Kilian's Back to Black, and this is because it's maybe the one that lit the spark, lit the fire of me having this massive collection that I'll never use. I'll never go through them all, and I still just want more and more and more. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, that's why greed. Back to Black, honey with a cheeky kind of cherry feel. There's tobacco. It's kind of boozy. It's very smooth. There's a gingerbread note apparently in it that I never really get, but there's kind of that gingeriness. There's this kind of waxy honey, almost honeycomb kind of feel in there. It's just beautiful. It's very sophisticated. It's very elegant. And yeah, it was the first one I'd smelt, the first niche fragrance, coincidentally, I would think, that lit the spark. What fragrances can be this good? I want more. So yeah, for greed is Kilian's Back to Black. Next up is Wrath. I suppose it's linked to anger and stuff, isn't it? It's like, I think wrath is more getting your own back, isn't it? It's more a kind of psychotic anger. It's more, I will destroy you, I will make you suffer, I will take everything from you. And obviously during Christian times, wrath was only meant for that magical sky gnome. He obviously was the only one allowed to randomly kill people and expect them to do what he wants, or he'd punish you. So yeah, wrath was not considered a human kind of characteristic. Obviously it's not a great thing to have, is it really? I don't think we need to be particularly angry at everyone in the world all the time. It's quite time consuming as well, isn't it? It's yeah, that I can see that being a sin. What I've picked for wrath is a Swedoft's Bohemian. That's my kind of fragrance. It's got attitude. It is very beautiful and it's very nicely done. It's whiskey woods, like a leather saddle, there's a little bit of a kind of sprayed feeling early on in it, and it just smooths out to be this whiskey leather woods one. I think there's a cypriol giving it a dark greenness in there. It's a massive fragrance, and it's not what you'd call a friendly fragrance either. I'm sure, depending on your mood, if someone smells you on it and you're kind of just carrying it, wow, that's quite something. But if you've got a face like thunder, which, you know, I generally do, and you're a bit, it's going to be one of them that kind of is a stay away from me kind of fragrance. I don't want your shit. Go over there, peasant kind of thing. It's got such a massive impact, and yeah, I think that suits wrath. Don't need to say more about it really. So for wrath is Swedoft's Bohemian. Envy is next. Now envy's an interesting one, isn't it? It's kind of being jealous of what the other has. Doth not cavort thou'st, wife of friend, or whatever shit. Envy is always wanting what somebody else has, not being happy with what you have, It's a word that again has been manipulated in modern times, like me banging on about the disgusting, vile nature of billionaires and trillionaires and the super wealthy. That in this country, that's now called the politics of envy. I don't want what they have. I'm not particularly envious of them. They have no soul, no morals, no anything. And is anything ever enough for these people? Most likely not, let's face it. So I'm most certainly not envious of them. But yeah, it's kind of got this modern implications that if life is really terrible, you're poor, you pay for everything, you just want to, you know, send your kids to a decent school, you want to be able to put food on the table and, you know, switch the electric on. Apparently we're envious. Envy doesn't relate to things that we need just to live, not just survive but actually live. So yeah, envy has made a comeback, and it's very much politically manipulated nowadays, isn't it? But for envy, what I've gone for is obviously a fragrance I want, and I'm envious of people of it, and it is very expensive. Yes, it's Frederic Malle's The Night. Now this is pre-reformulation. It used to, what's it cost, about £1,000 or something like that. Now when Frederic Malle made it, I bet the ingredients and everything in it were worth, you know, well obviously weren't worth that because trying to make a profit, but I bet they were, you know, the best of the best. Now it's not Frederic Malle, now it's Estee Lauder. Them ingredients ain't gonna be worth that much. They'll be worth less than I don't know, Ariana Grande's Cloud. But Estee Lauder, my God, they will rob people blind with it, won't they? And it has been reformulated. So I'm not sure I envy people with the modern formulation who've been completely ripped off. But with the old one, yeah, there ain't an oud fragrance, well, a westernised oud fragrance available readily in our market that comes anywhere close to it. It is wonderful. It's just layers of oud. There's a nice bit of rose going through. It's not a rose oud, but that rose just gives the sweetness. It's a nice muskiness. It does start off with that kind of slightly funky feel, but again it's just this classy, elegant, incredible oud. Again, no one else smelling it on you is going to think, you know, that cost this much money or whatever. They probably will think you smell very good, but yeah, I'm just envious of people who have it, and I wish I had it. There, I've said it. So that's Frederic Malle's The Night for envy. Now lust is next. Not really sure again why lust is a sin, because I suppose the only thing we're supposed to want is God's love, to give ourselves to God. Unless you're a priest, and then wow, the shit you'll get up to. But that's okay, and that's okay for kings and people with money. And the same in modern life, isn't it? How being sexualized or whatever is very much frowned upon and shunned by society, especially if you're a woman. Oh, you are not allowed to be sexual. Even in the modern age, it's flipped, hasn't it? In a certain big country, they've gone back to the Middle Ages with the way they treat women. Women are there for men's pleasure, nobody else's, blah blah blah. Yeah, come on, come back to civilization, you idiots. That's not how things should be. So yeah, men and women lust. We lust after things. It's kind of, it's not just sexual, is it? It's this, oh, I want that to satisfy a need. I crave it, I think about it all the time. It keeps me going. It's, if we didn't have lust, we'd be going extinct like pandas, wouldn't we? It's normal. It's in us. That doesn't mean we shouldn't lust after things we can't have, or take things that aren't ours, or we shouldn't without permission, etc. I think we all know that, but yeah, lust is a really powerful kind of one. And I'm going to put Mugler's Alien with this, the original, I'm not going to go on about why it's different because I already have a million times. But oh god, there's something about the muskiness in that dark jasmine. It just makes you, it does, it makes me lustful. It flicks a switch and it just makes me like, you basically want to devour your lady or gentleman friend who are wearing it. You want to eat them up, you want to have them there and then. And it just has that magic effect, which some fragrances do. Don't forget, that's why tuberose was kind of sort of banned, wasn't it? Because it has a crazy effect on people and stuff at some point. Whether that's an old wives' tale or not, who knows? But fragrance definitely has that connection, to that sexual primal need, doesn't it? So yeah, anyway, we all know what aliens like. So for lust is Mugler's Alien. Gluttony. Again, modern society, in the West anyway, not, you know, where we've got too much, food's too easy, it's too pleasurable, it's too full of crap and sugar and fat, and we just want more and more and more. I'm guilty of it, been, you know, eating till I'm about ready to pop. It's kind of the same with fragrance, isn't it? We're just going to keep buying it till we need to build an extension or something. So yeah, gluttony, that need, that never being quite satisfied with what we're consuming is a big one. I've obviously gone for a sort of gourmand, but not really, because it's one of the only few I own, and that's Akro's Dark, which I think we'll all be connected to. It's that addiction to chocolate which fits gluttony, isn't it? We don't need chocolate. Don't think it's particularly has many health benefits. It doesn't do us any good, but we want it, and you have a few bites of it and it has that, I think it produces endorphins in your mind, in your chemicals and stuff, so you're like, more chocolate, more chocolate. Akro Dark is kind of not really like that. It's like a dark dusty cocoa. There's hazelnut in it, there's a bit of oud, there's woods. It's a very kind of, it is chocolate, but it's not a sickly gourmand one, it's your adult chocolate. And again, you do smell absolutely delicious. Not sickly sweet, but like that raw chocolate. That which does kind of make you want more and more and more. Well, I don't spray loads because that's just not me. So yeah, we know what gluttony is. For gluttony is Akro's Dark. And Sloth. Again, I hate relating everything to current political rhetoric and the nonsense that the elite come out with. But apparently everyone's feckless and work shy. It's kind of our fault that we weren't born with rich parents who gave us everything. And that, you know, they don't need to work a day, and by hell they don't work a day's life in their life, do they? But the rest of us, because, you know, no matter how hard we work, it's not good enough for them, because, you know, by them doing no work, we're still not making enough money from them. So sloth is that kind of, yeah, it's been lazy, it's meandering, it's kind of been, you know, can't be bothered, what have you. Does sloth even exist? Is laziness really a thing? Or do we just do what we're capable of doing? Unless you're rich, in which case you do nothing. But yeah, my kind of chilled, can't bother to do anything, easy, kind of, I don't want to call it a nothing fragrance because that sounds negative, but a kind of, it just is what it is Kayali's Vanilla 28. It's just vanilla. There's other stuff in it, but it smells a bit like a kind of rich, cakey vanilla with a slight bit of resinousness, even sort of a push into like a vanilla schnapps sometimes. But it's just chilled, beautiful, easy vanilla. That's just, it basically is so relaxed, it's horizontal, it's just smell of lovely vanilla cake. That's all I want to do. Vanilla cake, Gluttony. Oh, I lust after a vanilla. You know, it's just that. And yeah, I don't have any more to say about it. We know what this thing is. We know what the fragrance is. So for Sloth is Vanilla 28 from Kayali. So yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's just a very chilled, laid back fragrance video about sins. You can take them and use them however you want. You can relate the fragrances to them how I have, or just, you know, even related to a character, or just match them somehow, however you want. It's an easy video that, because of, you know, sins and hellfire, kind of goes with October a bit. So yeah, what about you? How would you sense these so-called sins? Would you add any more modern day sins? I should have done that, shouldn't I? Would you add any sins that are kind of things that we're not supposed to do nowadays? That's it. I'm not going to waffle for the sake of it. Thanks folks. Bye.